everyone. Welcome to the Cārvāka podcast. This is your host Kushalmehra. So the World Test Championship is about to start on the 7th of June. The match will start, I think, on 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time. I don't know which part of the world you are from, so please look at the time. I have just given you the Indian Standard Time. In case you're wondering what the World Test Championship is, that really disappoints me. But well, ठीक है, it's going to be happening at the Oval, if I
Yes.
got the ground right, and it's going to be
Yes.
between India and Australia. And as always, to talk about it, I have with me Aadit Kapadia. Aadit, welcome.
Hello, Kushal. To interesting things up a bit because I'm on the other side of the globe. I'll say in America it starts at 4:30 in the morning Central Time and 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So that is those are the other two time zones given. बाकी का आप अपने आप देख लीजिए. Go to Cricinfo and Crickbuzz. They give you the local times. But what a cracker of a contest, man! What a cracker of a
Yes.
contest.
So, latest update: Josh Hazelwood has been ruled out of
Hmm.
the squad, at least for the World Test Championship. That's what I
Hmm.
have heard.
हाँ मैं बहुत खुश हो गया एज एन इंडियन फैन बिकॉज आई वुड मतलब I hope it does well and everything, but right now the time to be bipartisan is over. I'm thoroughly partisan when it comes to the
Hmm.
tournament. So I think what the Australians are doing is he's not 100% fit. He's probably, they have the 5 test match Ashes series coming after the World Test Championship also, and they don't want to strain him for that. So I think most likely Scott Boland will play in place of Josh Hazelwood.
So what do you make of this? That the Australian team did not do any warm-up games. They're literally taking the World Test Championship as the warm-up match for the Ashes. They were doing golfing sessions. India was playing the IPL, and from the IPL, most Indian players have now gone into the World Test Championship. Sida. It is just the way the modern day game has now going to progress, because time nahi hota players ko to get acclimatized and accustomed to new realities.
Hmm.
But what does it say about the test format then, that this is supposed to be the premier event, the finals of the World Test Championship, but I mean, if you look at Aussie podcasts, people are not really caring about the World Test Championship. They are more interested in the Ashes.
Absolutely, and I understand why, because a World Cup final or a world on an IPL final or something, you have qualifying games and leading up to the final, which happens in the same week or something. So there is a culmination of the things. In World Test Championship, it was the last Test match that India or Australia played 4 months ago, right?
Hmm.
5 months ago. So say India and Australia play the series home, and the World Test Championship is happening exactly a week or 2 weeks after. The excitement would be insane. They're like, okay, ye ho gaya. Now for 2 weeks there's a bit of a rest, and you have an entire tournament that happens. This is nothing against the IPL. We love the IPL. I mean, I love the IPL. We did a whole 2 shows on the IPL, right? But the fact is, the ICC has to figure itself out that how the hell are they going to market the World Test Championship. Imagine if English Premier League. So the concept of the World Test Championship is like the La Liga or the English Premier League, where एक
Hmm.
साल तक लोग खेलते हैं, in this case 2 years, and then all the fixtures add up. And uh, previously the top person would just be the test team of the year or something. Now they have like one place two in a test match format. Imagine if the Premier League happens till April, and then there is a 1.5 month break, and then they decide that you play the final in like May, and डेढ़ महीने बाद, the same level of excitement will obviously be not be there, and especially given the format. So I think they have to have a relook at, and this is all coming to what you and I have said for months, for many podcasts here, that ultimately if you want to save test cricket, you will have to create a window for test cricket, where test cricket is the only format played, and maybe there should be 2 windows in the year, and then there should be, that should lead to a World Test Championship. Let me ask you a question, Kushal. Okay, if say our question is that in Australian podcasts are not treating this as the premier event, right? Tomorrow, if the World Test Championship final is to happen in India, right, except, and not in like Mumbai or Chennai, right, in some other, even in Ahmedabad, are we sure that the stadiums are going to be full for the test match?
No.
Yeah. So if that is the case, then Indians themselves are not treating it as a premier event. If the
I
IPL
think,
is
but looking at the Twitter trends, the WTC final is trending. So you right now have in the India trending, right? I'm talking about
yes,
trending in India. You
yes.
have WTC final 2023 is trending on Twitter. So it's not like people are not
No, no,
talking
no,
about it.
no, no. I'm not. I'm saying people will talk about it. It is a brilliant, but ultimately, I'm telling you, for Australians, Ashes is always going to be a notch higher than that, because it has that extra edge, where the players want to go and absolutely, smash each other up.
Hmm.
Do we have that sort of attitude coming in the World Test Championship? This time, I'm not so sure. And
I think the reason for that is that it is just on the back end of an IPL, and IPL just
exactly,
brings it a different level of energy, and
exactly.
this is going to be a serious problem, and it's followed up by an Ashes. If it was not followed up by an Ashes, I actually agree with you. There would have been more interest in the World Test Championship. Like from my end, I'm really geared
Oh,
up for it.
I'm
I'm going to watch
absolutely
it
ready to watch it.
completely.
I'm going to be up every day morning watching the game.
And by the way, it's sold out. It's sold
Yes,
out. The
yes.
finals are sold out. So it's not
The
like it's not gonna be watched by a full crowd. It is sold out. The Indians are going to go in good numbers in the Oval. Aussies
Mhm,
hopefully will turn up for their team.
mhm,
And but my whole point is, I find it very interesting that in the mindset of the Australians,
mhm.
I mean, your Ashes is not. Isn't the Ashes counted as one of the series that is qualifying you for the World Test Championship final?
It is, but I think it just carries that extra edge. And if you ask any Australian, if you ask any Englishman, what do they want to do when they become a Test cricket? They only want to become a Test cricket to do well at the Ashes. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't want to do
Oh yeah,
well
English
in other
players तो बड़ा
places.
clear है. Like I was talking to my friends in England, they're like, we only care about the Ashes. Otherwise, the rest of the year we don't care.
Yeah, exactly. So you have that extra energy, you have the history, and to give credit to the English board, the ECB, and the Australian Cricket Board, they've preserved the sanctity of the format of the Ashes. This unfortunately BCCI doesn't do. कि एक मैच काट के दो T20 ऐड कर दिया, like one they did with
Hmm.
England. They did, अरे no, T20 World Cup is coming, so we will reduce one match and add two matches. None of this rubbish. You play 5 test matches properly. With India Australia, 1 year you are playing 3 test matches, 1 year you are playing four, 1 year you are playing 2 test matches. You to create that legacy of a great series, BCCI also needs to invest in doing this. And for what I think, maybe now it's time that Test cricket actually India takes a look at with a very sort of dispassionate view, and see what grounds bring the attendance, and only those
Yeah,
grounds should be hosting test
ये
matches.
मतलब धर्मशाला और ऐसी सब जगहों में टेस्ट मैच रखने का तो मुझे तो आई हैव नेवर अंडरस्टूड इट बट लेट्स नाउ गेट इनटू
The
so
World
let's
Test
start with the
Championship, correct.
Australian. Yeah, so what is your playing 11 for Australia in the
Okay,
WTC
do
final?
you have the squads, or should I put up the
Yeah,
squads
I'll
just
pull
to...
them up. I'll pull them
Yeah,
up on the screen.
okay.
मैं स्क्वाड्स
Yeah,
को ले आता हूँ स्क्रीन पे. So let's start with your Australian playing 11 first, and whom would you play?
yeah.
So
Oh,
this is
first
the
of all,
Aussie.
before we talk about the Australian, let's address the big elephant in the room. David Warner, one of the best ever, is retiring from Test
Yeah,
match cricket
Test
at the end of
cricket.
the summer. Huge loss for the Australians. They had found their replacement for Matthew Hayden in David Warner. I thought a gun
Absolutely.
who could play all formats. So will absolutely be missed big time. But having said that, so here is the interesting thing. I personally would have Warner and Khwaja opening the batting. I know the Australians maybe look at Khwaja in the middle order post the Ashes that was played in Australia, but I think I would not have Marcus Harris
Khwaja
opening.
is going to open. He's
Yeah,
an opener now. I think he's an opener.
exactly. He's an opener, exactly. So
So
Warner and
Warner
Khwaja
or
opening.
Khwaja opener. One down,
Opener,
Labuschagne.
Labuschagne. Two down would be Steve Smith.
Steve
Uh,
Smith.
Three down would be Travis Head.
Travis Head.
Fourth down, in my opinion, would be Cam Green.
Yes.
That puts him at six. Now here is where it gets a little interesting, because you have four bowlers that are confirmed, right? Who will play. So you have six still green. Alex Carey goes to number 7. Josh Inglis is the more aggressive batsman, but I would go with Alex Carey because if
They're
glove
gonna
work is
play
a little
Carey
better,
और
they're
इतने
going to
टाइम
play
से खेल
Alex
रहा है.
Carey.
They're gonna pick him.
Exactly. Right. So that's number 7 for you. Now come the four bowlers. Mitchell Stark absolutely walks into the team. Nathan Lyon,
Cummins.
they will play. Cummins, and then Scott Boland. The
See, it's
Mike.
the toss up is only on one person. Now Scott Bolden or Mike Neeser has been considered in the squad. I don't know why
Yes,
they've
but
not put it over here.
no, it is Michael Neeser, right above Mitchell Marsh.
Yeah. So he's there. So
So
the
I
toss up is between him and Boland. That's all.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it will be Scott Boland because Scott Boland swings the ball, and when they already have that extra pace of Cam Green. So I think it'll definitely be Cummins, Stark, and Boland, with Nathan Lyon and Cam Green summing up the bowling, finishing up the bowling attack. And let's not forget Marlash Labuschagne can bowl a little bit of spin too. So it's not like they don't have an option. Steve Smith would also bowl, but Steve Smith hasn't bowled as much as Marlash Labuschagne. So the Australian 11 is almost set.
Because Australia always plays with 4 bowlers. They have a rule. They never play with 5 bowlers. And
Yes,
Australians have never believed in the system that, we need an extra bowler to back this or that up. They go with who's the fittest, and 4 people are supposed to do the job. That's been the Aussie
yes.
mindset since the time of, let's say, Mark Taylor. At least they've never had.
No, no,
But in
absolutely.
but Cam Green has now added that extra benefit because he will always be a fifth bowler for them, who will bowl you like 8 to 10 overs in a day. That's about it in a
Correct.
test match. So Cam Green does give them that added advantage. So I think the Aussie 11 is pretty much fixed. I think as far as Team India is concerned, again 9 people select themselves. So
Yes,
again, opening, I guess you and I are going to have Sharma and Gill as the openers, right?
absolutely.
Then
The
you
number three
one down
Chetu,
Pujara.
Pujara, no
Pujara.
question about it. I mean, the top five pick themselves. Number 3 is
Number
Virat
4,
Kohli.
Kohli. So you would have Rahane at number 5 or
Absolutely.
Sky.
No, Rahane. Absolutely
Rahane,
Rahane.
right? Rahane over Sky, right? In Test match cricket.
Any day. Not just Test match cricket in England. I mean,
Yeah.
given how Sky was struggling against Mitchell Stark when he was swinging the ball in, I would be terrified to put Sky in without him
I'm in
having any
agreement
county
with you.
experience.
Yeah, and Rane is in top form right now. He should be in the team.
Correct.
Rane did well in the domestic, and I'm not just talking IPL. He was doing well in the domestic circuit also, right?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So Rahane should
So,
walks into the team, in my
so
opinion.
Jaddu at number 6. Jadeja is number 6 for sure. Okay?
Yes, I mean, in my mind initially there was a debate, but then Akshar Patel I don't think is going to be a factor in England. It has to
No,
be
no, no.
Jaddu.
Sawal hi nahi. He can't play. He can't play.
Yeah.
He's
Hmm.
completely out of the game as a bowler. Jadeja still is not out of the game as a bowler. He spins it a little more than Akshar Patel. So now is the key. Uh, Adit, who do we
Hmm.
play as a keeper? KS Bharat or Ishan Kishan?
Riddhiman Saha. I'm kidding. No, but
अरे है ही नहीं साहा.
I know. That's why I'm saying. मैंने तो
I
कितनी
know
बार
it's frustrating. Riddhiman
it
Saha should have been picked.
it'll be KS Bharat.
You sure?
Yes.
So here's my take. I think if it is a seaming wicket, then
Hmm.
then KS Bharat. If it's like a slightly flat-ish wicket, I think they will go with Ishan Kishan and tell him to do the basher's role like Rishabh used to do for us.
Hmm.
I'm telling you,
I
KS Bharat और ईशान किशन की कीपिंग में कोई इतना बड़ा आसमान जमीन का फर्क नहीं है.
Yeah, but I still think that I'm telling you कि ईशान किशन की स्विंग बॉलिंग अगेंस्ट सब बहुत ज्यादा सस्पेक्ट है टेक्निक बहुत ज्यादा आई नो द डैशर वर्क्स बट ऋषभ पंत हैज like he's like a Virender Sehwag type player like literally I don't know blessed is the land of Delhi that has given us two players in two generations one Virender Sehwag and other Rishabh Pant and with unbelievable hand-eye coordination. I mean some of the shots they play are insane but yeah I don't think Ishan Kishan can do that. It has to be KS Bharat. You cannot just upset the apple cart so fast. And KS Bharat is pretty decent against spin. right? So if and which comes to my next selection after KS Bharat. The reason why I'm saying it is, given the amount of left-handers in the Australian lineup, and given that this wicket will take turn, you have to play Ravichandran Ashwin at 8.
Yeah, so I was going to ask. So, Abhi, the next toss-up is Ashwin or Lord Shardul. Who?
Ashwin has to be Ashwin. Has to be. Because
I would be with you. Even Harsha Bogle is with us on this one, but
yeah,
I won't be surprised that Shardul gets selected.
I wouldn't be. I mean, England may, because the ball swings. There is this thing that we want to play four fast bowlers or something, but you have to look at the matchups and you have to look at where the game is. This game is not happening in Manchester or Headingley. This game is happening in Kennington Oval. There is a chance whether the wicket will take a little bit of turn, and the oval wicket gets a little easier to bat on. If you look at the statistics, the first inning score, usually the average score goes higher. Now here is the thing: if the wicket gets if it's sunny and the wicket loses a bit of a moisture and starts cracking a little bit, Ashwin will come into play. And with the footmarks created by Mitchell Stark, it's
Hmm.
absolutely essential. So I actually think that Ashwin and Jadeja should be our two spinners, and we should have three fast bowlers.
See, people are forgetting that Ashwin can bowl very well on a flat deck, because in the fourth test match in India on that road of
Yeah.
a pitch, you remember how well Ashwin bowled in the first innings when
Oh, it
he
was
got those
brilliant.
wickets.
Outstanding. And more than anything else, he can give you an additional batter. Because I really don't trust the
Yes.
batting. With all due respect, I don't trust the batting of KS Bharat.
That's why I think Ashwin will play, because he'll score in the batting department.
Correct.
So ठीक है, ये हो गया. अभी the three fast bowlers में Shami and Siraj are your fixtures, right?
Are.
Now the toss up is between who is the third seamer. Will it be Umesh Yadav or will it be Jaydev Unnadkat?
Yeah, okay. Jaydev
मुकेश
Unadkat
कुमार
is.
का मैंने नाम भी नहीं लिया है, क्योंकि मतलब वो थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाता था.
Matlab, this is how bad it is that there is a chance that Shardul Thakur could actually walk in as a third seamer, and it will be. And I love Lord Shardul Thakur as the cricketer he is, but he's not our third seamer. He can be the fourth seamer, or he can be a medium pace all rounder.
No, actually, I don't mind the idea of playing Shardul as a third seamer. He
Boss,
bowls very well in those conditions.
he does, but Ishant Sharma is type person is your third seamer. Shardul goes for a lot of runs. Shardul will give you those 2 or 3 wickets, but he's like 14 overs, 2 for 50. I know he's taken 6 wickets. I mean, on this podcast only, actually, when I was saying, remember, we did the preview of the India England series where I said Shardul Thakur will play. A lot of people were jumping up and down. How is that possible? He did play. So I have been Team Shardul on that, but I really think he's not our third seamer. We should have it'll either be Umesh Yadav, but Jaydev Unadkat is not even match fit, by the way. He's been injured. So his fitness is a concern. And Unadkat should not be. I mean, if the wicket gets easier to bat on and the ball is not swinging, and if Unadkat is bowling at 128 kilometers an hour, boss, these guys are. Travis Head is going to feast on him. Absolutely feast on him. So I think it'll probably end up being Umesh.
लेफ्ट हैंडर है ना, उसका एडवांटेज भी तो है.
अरे but if Umesh is bowling at the speeds he's bowling,
सुन, hear me out. He's a left armer. He creates rough for Ashwin bowling to the left-handers.
nahi, I agree with you. But again, Umesh Yadav's reverse swinging capacity against Australia that we saw, I mean, he looked exemplary in the India Australia series. So I agree with you that there is a left arm thing, but if there was a left arm bowler bowling at like 135, 140, then I would be doing that. Unadkat just doesn't excite me with the lack of pace. We need that pace. You need that X factor, right? He's right now bowling slower than Scott Boland. And if he can move the ball as much as Scott Boland, then I don't mind. But I'm just telling you that and again, nothing against Unadkat. He's a great guy. But we need that X factor when it comes to pace. And I think that is what is going to sort of, hit us a little bit. I'm sort of surprised that Bhuvneshwar Kumar is not even in the squad, given how he was swinging the ball.
I don't know. I think I would have picked Arshdeep over Unadkat.
Oh, hands down, hands down. But somehow, last time we were when we were doing the IPL podcast, there was a question: if you see Arshdeep as a white ball cricketer, let me tell you this: I see Arshdeep more as a white ball cricketer than Surya Kumar Yadav. Not to say that Surya should not be in the team. I'm saying if you're looking at a list of people from the IPL who are walking, Arshdeep should be one of them, and he should be mentored by fast bowlers. But
Hmm.
but I'll tell you this: India ke liye, it's going to be an interesting challenge. Um, because if you bat first, Ashwin and Jadeja come into play in the second innings massively because you're chasing a total and the wicket, if the wicket is spinning, right? But the history at the Oval has shown that it's always batting progressively gets easier to bat on. Now, the old statistics don't apply here because Oval usually hosts the last test of the summer. So it's either an August test or a September test, which in the Ashes, that's when it will host. But this is the first time, probably I think only twice in 2012 or 2017 in the last few years, that it has hosted a test this early in the calendar. And June, it's still not full summer sort of playing conditions in England. The weather will be playing a factor. There will be a little bit of moisture around. Thodi barish bhi hone ke chances hai. So that being said, there is a chance that India might bowl first on this, and that may affect the combination we go with.
So then Ashwin goes out. Shardul comes in instead of Ashwin.
That's what I'm saying, right? So that is the caveat. But you go with your best wicket taking bowlers, I believe, and like Saurav Ganguly showed you in 2002 in Leeds, if you have two good bowlers in Arun Kumble and Harbhajan Singh, they'll win you matches on a seeming dry, cloudy Headingley wicket, with with all sorts of situations possible. So that is the perspective that I have on the squads. What do you think, Kushal?
Yeah, I think we'll be in a much better position on the 6th, that is tomorrow, when we look at weather report. निकाल लिया तूने?
I'm just actually looking at the
Weather
Kennington
report
Oval
निकाला?
weather. The weather report is very interesting. Where Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be sunny, and then we are going to have rains on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Acha, if I'm not mistaken, guess this is a 6-day test match, so there is an extra day. So
Yeah, the
it's not
reserve
going
day.
to be. There's an extra 90 overs that could potentially be played, I believe, or is it 450 overs maximum? I don't know what the playing conditions are, but I know there is a 6th day. And if you forget, the last test match was actually decided on day 6 the last time.
Yeah. If it was not for the reserve day, draw hota tha.
If it was not the reserve day or that insane Rishabh Pant shot that he went for, but that's the name of the game, right?
That's okay.
um
उसने जिताया भी है हमको कितनी बार उसी ने,
Acha,
है ना?
so no, I know. I'm just being silly and nostalgic. But I'll tell you this: one thing that's going to hurt India the most is the runs per over conceded by the Indian bowlers. If you look at last time, we essentially choked New Zealand by not giving them more than 2 or 2.5 runs per over in the first innings. If you look at our last 3 games, 3 series, they're going at 3, 4, 3.5, 4 and over. Australia is a team that will score fast. They will score quickly, right? Or up to here, England is now also the team that actually is probably going to score faster than even Australia. So I think, given that, India, it is going to affect them how many runs they give per over, and if the bowlers don't fix that up fast, that's going to be a huge problem when it comes
I
to
think
India.
that's where Jadeja comes in handy. He doesn't give away a lot of runs per over. He kind of sticks to his line in length, and he really helps us in that department, Jadeja.
Absolutely, absolutely, he does. And here is the issue with Jadeja, right? The issue with um, Ravindra Jadeja is he's a very English type spinner, right? Jack Leach जो है ना, hold up one end, Rafi push it out of the foot marks. He's not going to, basically rip the ball on day one. But Ashwin is going to be more of your, float the ball up in the air, give bowlers things sort of that. But Jadeja will give you that control. But the problem is our fast bowlers. Our fast bowlers have been leaking runs, and once the swing and seam dies, right? Once if it becomes sunny and easier to bat on, how do Shami and Siraj respond, right? And you don't have that X factor of Bumrah. Bumrah would make things happen, right? That is why Bumrah, Shami, and Siraj. And I know it's almost, why are we talking about Jasprit Bumrah? He's injured, that all. But it is a huge hole in the Indian bowling lineup. And till we fill that up, or till, unfortunately, we are at that stage, Kushal, where we have to take Jasprit Bumrah as a part-time member of the Indian cricket team, because he just cannot give you 12 months anymore, or 10 months. If you take the 2 months of the IPL calendar out, because he's breaking down, he's getting injured. And if we are staying, if we are basically putting all our eggs in the Bumrah basket, yeah, there's going to be a problem.
So, see, Bumrah has to stop playing 50 over cricket.
Absolutely, he has to. So and I'm telling you, the issue is not even that. The issue is that Bumrah has to prioritize what series he wants to play. मैंने तो कितनी बार बोला कुशल that BCCI should actually pay him to stay out of 50 over. Give him the money you are going to owe him. But you have a once in a generation type bowlers. And by the way, before people jump on me, I'm not comparing Jack Leach and Javindra Jadeja in terms of skill. I'm taking the roles that they're going to play on oval wicket. If the wicket is not going to turn, Ravindra Jadeja is going to play that guy who holds up one end, like an English spinner, and stuff. So that is my fear, so to speak, right? That is, now we come to Umesh Yadav, and why I'm preferring Umesh Yadav, right, is because you have no one who reverse swings the ball like Bumrah did. Like, I'm not seeing Shami reverse swinging the ball the same way Bumrah used to do. So that's where Umesh Yadav comes into play. Where we have to be really, really careful, Kushal, is Umesh Yadav's fitness. He's not been match fit where he can bowl like 30-40 overs a game. Can he bowl
Which is
30?
why I said Jaydev Unadkat is that speciality guy. Now he's a monster. He keeps bowling.
Yeah, I agree. But again, his pace bothers me massively, because the lack of pace. Because if the ball isn't doing much and oval is a flatter track compared to, say Nottingham or something like that, Jaydev Unadkat things is a bit of a concern, I think.
He bowled well in the Bangladesh test.
But that's hardly a benchmark. if Bangladesh test matches are a benchmark, then who? But I'm telling you, even then, I think Umesh was picked instead of him. So I mean, that is sort of the thing where I think India also needs to worry about is how we deal with the moving ball. I think again, I'm not dismissing Unadkat, because he plays on a very flat track in Saurashtra, in Rajkot, and if he's done well in Ranji Trophy, it's good on him. So I'm not about to roll over on him. But where another thing that concerns me is, हमने bowling की तो बात की, is our technique against the moving ball. When in English conditions,
Pujara has been scoring a lot of runs in the English
Pujara has
conditions.
been.
Kohli can bat. Kohli is Kohli. Rahane
Kohli
is
is Kohli.
fine.
No, Kohli is Kohli, but Kohli has also struggled, because Kohli in Australian conditions, I prefer Kohli to. Kohli is a very different captain compared to different player than what it is to English conditions, because uski game, his cover drive sometimes is out of questions, or that becomes his biggest fall. He shot down the ground or something, because Australian wickets mein bounce zyada hota hai. English wickets have lesser bounce.
All
but more
Australians
swing.
need to do is abuse Virat Kohli.
Yes.
वो फिर ठीक है फिर वो.
Yes. So I mean, if they rile him up and if they get him absolutely going, nothing like it. And the fact little bit more bounce than other wickets. So hopefully that plays to our advantage as well, to our games. You're right that Pujara has been the form of his life. Gill is in the form of his life, but Gill will have to change his technique slightly. Than what he was doing at the IPL. So hopefully that happens. Rohit Sharma's form is a bit of a concern for me. Rohit Sharma did not look the player.
मगर ठीक है, टेस्ट मैच में तो वो टुक टुक खेलता है.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope वो खेले. And given like Mitchell Stark has had his number in a couple of test matches in India. Like, you remember that over where he essentially got him out twice. The Australians never appealed. And then ultimately Rohit was out stumped to Kuhlman or Lyon. Mitchell Stark will cause a lot of troubles for us in that. So that is sort of a concern I have when it comes.
So here's my playing 11 then.
Hmm.
Gill, Rohit, Pujara, Kohli. Then you have Rahane, Jadeja, Bharat. I will play Ashwin. And my three bowlers will be Siraj, Shami, and Unadkat.
So that's okay. Agreed. So you were saying Siraj, Shami, and Unadkat. What if India wants to play four bowlers and Ashwin at 7? Would you be open to that or no?
No,
I
हमारी
agree with
batting.
you. I agree
Nah.
with you. ये तो लेफ्ट फील्ड ऑप्शन था because I saw on Cricket 4 people were speculating on
ऐसा
this.
इतना बड़ा दिल नहीं है मेरा.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया को पूरा गिफ्ट रैप करके नहीं देना चैंपियनशिप. We had one team in yellow win one championship. We can't have two teams in yellow win two championships in 2 weeks. चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स तक ठीक है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया को नहीं जितवाना. No, I agree because Jadeja we also need for fielding because he's that X factor in fielding. So I think that's not even a question. And I firmly believe that you play your best players. I mean, I'm not saying कि पूरा अगर swing your seam wicket है तो you ignore it. But you play the best players, the biggest champions who can, your gun players who can give you that X factor on the day of the tournament. Who does India need to fear the most from the Australian batting lineup? Who do you think?
Labuschagne.
I also think Abushan, but I think Steve Smith is in crazy form. And both him and Pujara have been playing for Sussex and have been scoring runs for fun. What is interesting is how many times Steve Smith has been getting LBW. I forget where I read a piece or something.
I
like
will
that.
play Ashwin only for Steve Smith because he knows how to bowl to Steve Smith.
Exactly. If Bumrah isn't there, Bumrah and Ashwin are the perfect bowlers to bowl to Steve Smith. But Ashwin, you play for two people, Steve Smith and Travis Head. Because Travis Head is going to be very aggressive. And you need someone like Ashwin, and he bowls to left-handers for fun, right? So we have some excellent matchups. Mohammad Shami and Siraj against David Warner. I think that's a great matchup. So Australia has like quite a few, at least five left-handers in the top 8. You have Khwaja, Warner, Travis Head, Alex Carey, and Mitchell Stark. So
think about it. Siraj और शमी पे बहुत pressure होगा ये match में to deliver.
Yes. But if Siraj and Shami bowl with the new ball like they have in the IPL, India is in with a fighting chance. But the way our batting lineup and our bowling lineup is set up, I still think the game is 60-40 towards Australia. One thing is for sure, ये draw नहीं होगा. Unless and until it absolutely floods and there is no play for 2 days, this test match will not be a draw. There will be a result. And it won't even go into the 6th day if the weather stays okay.
Yeah, I think I expect a result from this match. For me, acha, so if somebody asked you who is the favorite to win before the match starts?
Australia.
मेरे हिसाब से स्लाइट फेवरेट, इतना बड़ा नहीं है.
Oh, no, but slightly. That's why I said 60-40. So, Dil, Dimag Australia, Dil India, obviously, that the disclaimer is there. But I would say Australia 60-40, or if you want to be generous to India, then 55-45. But
I honestly believe it's 50-50. It could be anybody's game. I think India as a test side is a good side. The only reason I might give 5% extra to Australia is India's not good in final ICC tournaments, stuff like that.
that jinx will remain, unfortunately. But I hope 2023 is the year where we get rid of that jinx in when it comes to World Cup and it comes to the World Test Championship. But it is that. And then I'll tell you what is the what you may call the the key is going to be the third innings. How the hell which any of the team play the third innings, right? If agar India ki batting aayegi, so can India do well in the third innings to put on different pressure? Or agar India ki bowling aayegi, so the wicket will be essentially easier to bat on. So can India get out Australia for cheaper and make that a difference? But any target over 250 or 275 for any team is going to be a handful. I don't care what
Hmm.
wicket you're playing on. World Test Championship तो है उसका pressure है. When there are going to be packed stadiums in test matches, it's going to be different. And in Australia, from Australia, I actually, a lot of people are pipping Pat Cummins and things like that. I think our biggest nemesis is going to be Mitchell Stark.
I don't think so. I think Pat Cummins.
You really think so?
Mitchell Stark, all it happened. Mitchell Stark, he can have bad days. So
I
he's
agree.
very erratic.
Yeah.
Pat Cummins barely has bad days.
हाँ वो तो. And Josh Hazelwood barely has a non-pitch map days. That man, if you give him a pitch map square, he can pitch the ball there on like 10 times out of 10. That's why Josh Hazelwood, I mean, I was breathing a little easier. I woke up to the news of Josh Hazelwood being ruled out. I'm like, okay. Luck hai hamare saath. Not to suggest that Scott Boland is any better. If you pull up Scott Boland's statistics, they're insane. They're absolutely insane. His strike rate is like below 20. Like he gets wickets for fun. So I mean, and if he's a handful, like I was looking his sorry, now his strike rate in India mein aake khela to thodi strike rate बढ़ गई 36.9. But I mean, still, that's every one wicket every 6 overs, and his average is like 13.7. It's unbelievable record for Scott Boland. So you never know what might happen. He's taken 28 wickets in 7 games. So I mean, granted, a lot of those were against England in that Ashes series where he went absolutely crazy. But he has another Ashes coming up, and I think India would do well not to take it lightly. The Australia's X factor is the bowling attack. India's X factor is the middle order.
और पता नहीं ट्रेविस हेड अगर बावला हो गया तो कुछ बोल नहीं सकते.
हाँ वो है फिर भी I think their X factor is still their bowling, and India's X factor, ultimately this is the test. The test of the
I
test is
think
going to be.
both sides, their bowlers matter the most. Test match में तो bowlers ही matter करते.
But India में unfortunately they are way too dependent on 3-4-5. The way Pujara, Kohli and Rahane go, that's how the test match goes. Because unfortunately, or fortunately for us, those three have been firing, but last time they had issues, and if they can paper over those, like that's what's going to be the key. I hope Kohli plays his natural game. I hope we don't get the Kohli of the last World Test Championship where he was like 49 of 147 balls or something. And before tell me it's a tough wicket, I agree it's a tough wicket, but Kohli ka game is to give it back. If you see that excellent test match where he scored two centuries against England, yes, he had his chances. You're always going to have chances in England. You have to make the most of it. Kohli is the best when he's playing aggressive. Kohli is not the best when he's playing strike rate of 30 or 40. That was just like same thing with Sachin. They only work when they dominate the bowlers. It doesn't work the other way where they allow the bowlers to dominate and then they grind them out and stuff. वो उनकी game है ही नहीं. They do have the game of patience, but not the game of grinding out that say a Pujara or a Dravid had.
I agree. I would not be surprised. So a few other things, थोड़ा questions भी ले लेते हैं because we will wrap it up now in another 20 minutes.
Mhm.
So Akshat has asked, is bad selection the main reason India has lost 8 straight ICC tournaments since 2014?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about Ambati Raidu. What the hell was he doing not being a part of the 2019 World Cup squad?
Hmm.
Ravi Shastri was waxing so eloquently on the commentary box about Ambati Raidu. Didn't someone ask him why the hell did he not pick him as a coach when he was the coach of the Indian cricket team? So वो तो हमारी पुरानी बीमारी है ही कि bad selection has caused in some cases sort of lack of too many selectors, too many cooks spoiling the broth. You had MSK Prasad and Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri who was taking responsibilities for who is playing and who is not playing. So that is another big issue. So I think bad selections is a huge reason. And I actually was of the opinion that in 2019 also, not just the World Cup but even then post in the World Test Championship and in the ICC World T20 that happened in Dubai, UAE, we messed up by playing Varun Chakravarti over Ravichandran Ashwin against Pakistan and stuff like that. So I mean, we had some pretty bad selection. Or हमने तो बोला ही T20 में the top three cannot be KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, but somehow the selectors don't like or agree. So I think till that changes, and now Shubman Gill should play all three formats, and Yashasvi
Yes.
Jaiswal should be looked at as the future in the white ball formats at least.
Yeah. So the next question was, फ्लैट ट्रैक में ईशान को खिलाओ सीमिंग विकेट, किसी को भी खिलाओ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. That's so funny. That's so true though.
That
कि
is true.
मतलब it is so obvious. सीमिंग विकेट में तो सबकी ही लगने वाली है.
Go against the line and hit the ball. The problem with KS Bharat, I have more than the batting, is the catches he dropped in the
नहीं,
test
वो
match
ठीक है ना, तो
series.
ईशान कौन सा बड़ा, he is not going to set the house on fire, right?
नहीं नहीं
I
भाई,
think
which is why I was like कि भाई one off test के लिए तो आप साहा को ले लो. I mean,
they could have requested Riddhiman Saha to come and play the World Test Championship final, but apparently it's not on, bro. It's not on.
it's
They're
not
not going to
on.
do it.
God knows. इंडिया में एक तो है ना वो रूठने मनाने का आधा टाइम सिलेक्टर्स और उसका हो रहता है.
Seriously.
What players? So I don't understand what is the thing, but I think yeah, KS Bharat will play. I think
Somebody has said we should have taken Bhuvneshwar Kumar.
I agree with that. He should have been part of the squad at least. You know, I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar merits a discussion over Mukesh Kumar at least. Like I'm sure Mukesh Kumar has done well, but Bhuvneshwar Kumar was swinging the ball. He was playing well, and unless and until his fitness is an issue, because both Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Washington Sundar have this amazing thing of completely becoming fit once and then unfit after. Washington Sundar especially, that is a big sort of issue here we have.
Hmm. So let me pull this up. Did you look at the new jerseys?
I did. I actually like them. Acha, I have to ask you something, Kushal. Even
बहुत
if
महंगी
Hardik,
है भाई. फुल
अच्छा,
डिस्क्लोजर, मैंने मेरे डैड के लिए एक ऑर्डर की है. आई डोंट नो इफ डैड नोस अबाउट इट. नहीं, डैड डजंट नो. अभी अगर पॉडकास्ट देख लेंगे तो ही विल नो. बट
yeah,
आई ऑर्डर्ड ये men's T20 jersey for
hmm,
my father. I wanted to buy a ODI jersey, but I
correct.
couldn't because I will show you something. They don't have a large size option.
Really?
देख देख ना, तेरे को दिखा तो रहा हूँ वेबसाइट. एक्स्ट्रा स्मॉल,
हाँ,
स्मॉल, मीडियम, दैट्स इट. अभी अभी ये देख, इसमें जाएगा ना तो इसमें ऑप्शन है लार्ज और एक्स्ट्रा लार्ज T20 जर्सी में.
wow.
सो अच्छा, अभी एज इफ दिस वाज नॉट इनफ, ठीक है,
Hmm,
अभी क्रिकेट जर्सी देख, मेन
hmm. Sold out.
सोल्ड आउट.
Wow.
इमेजिन, सोल्ड आउट. और जब मैंने लेने के लिए ट्राई किया था ना, तो इसमें
Hmm.
साइज ही नहीं था.
Wow.
साइज ही नहीं था, इसमें भी लार्ज साइज नहीं था. मतलब है क्या?
It's
तो मैंने
good. It's a
T20
good
की लिए,
sign.
T20 की ली मैंने
Hmm.
एक, ये वाली. ₹5,000 की शर्ट.
No, it's a good sign that if they are selling out of shirts and especially test match cricket shirts, जरूरत है करने की. But एक चीज वो India also has to understand
I
why
like the design यार. अरे वो साला आइसोर बाइजू. साला घटिया बाइजू.
है you have the old ones, I think. पूरा नीचे है ना the replica of the old jerseys. If you go
Oh
down,
man.
if you
है
scroll
ना, ये
down
देख.
on that
ये
page,
देखना है ना.
हाँ उसमें से भी बायजूस निकाल दिया, thankfully.
अरे नहीं चाहिए यार बाइजूस. इतना इरिटेटिंग फ्रिकिन पीस ऑफ गार्बेज. एक
Yeah, no,
साइज.
I think this is a replica of the new
हाँ,
one.
ये जून 9 को आएगा. जून
हाँ.
9 को अवेलेबल होगी ये. और ये वाली भी.
And it is so ridiculous यार. India जिसके पास इतनी sponsorship है, you should do something like this. This is so much so
बस
classy
अगर
compared to.
₹5,000 की शर्ट. चल ठीक है, मैं तो एक ऑब्सेसिव इंडियन फैन हूँ. तो मैंने एक ले ली क्योंकि, और मेरे को जेन्युइनली ये डिजाइन बहुत अच्छा लगा शर्ट का. आई
Yeah.
लव्ड इट. लाइक आई लाइक द कलरिंग एंड एवरीथिंग ऑफ द T20. एक्चुअली लेट मी पुल इट अप अगेन एंड शो इट टू एवरीवन. आई रियली लाइक द कलर ऑफ द T20 टी-शर्ट. लाइक आई एंजॉयड. दिस इज अ गुड टी-शर्ट. Like a good jersey, a good sporting jersey.
No, this is absolutely excellent.
ये
और
अच्छी है.
yeah, cheer. And see, I understand. I'm glad that they're doing replicas and fan shirts for cheaper. So you can get a fan shirt for 1,000 rupees and a replica for 3,000 rupees.
Yeah.
I think I support this price point, that if you want an original Indian team jersey, you have to pay premium for it, but you can get cheaper versions officially from Adidas and BCCI for 1,000 rupees, which is fine. और and it's India. I will, मतलब जुगाड़ आ ही जाएंगे 200-500 रुपए 200-500 रुपए में in the next few months, so it's fine. I mean, you won't believe when I moved here to America.
तेरे को याद है मैं तेरे को बोल रहा था ये बाइजूस कब हटेगा, बाइजूस कब हटेगा.
हाँ, अब हट गया. No, I'll tell you. So when I moved to US, you had the Indian fan jersey, or the difference was BCCI की जगह अंदर ICC भी लिखा था. All they did was they had the exact same jersey, B और I swap कर दिया था, and हाँ, and it said Indian Control Cricket Board or something like that. So if you have something like that, there will be a lot of knockoffs, but I think it's a good design. But I will tell you this though,
I like the T20 jersey better than the ODI one. I like the color of the T20 one better. तू देखना ODI वाले का कलर दिखाता
एडमिट
हूं
कर ही ले,
तेरे को.
तू सीक्रेट हार्दिक पांड्या फैन है, तू सीक्रेट गुजरात टाइटंस
नहीं,
फैन
ये
है.
देख, ये कलर यार थोड़ा लाइट है. मेरे को थोड़ा डार्क कलर चाहिए था.
हाँ, ब्रेकिंग न्यूज, मिस्टर कुशल मेहरा is supporting the Gujarat Titans captain over the Mumbai Indians.
Before someone accuses me of supporting T20 format over ODIs, बात वो नहीं है यार. कलर तो शर्ट का देख के लूंगा ना. और नसीब मेरे कि वो लार्ज नहीं था, तो वैसे ही और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था, T20 का ही लेना पड़ा.
I'm telling you ultimately, and then we can sort of come back to that point which we started with, right? I think T20 is going to subsume ODI cricket. ODI cricket, I don't see it lasting very long.
But I agree with Vineet Shinde. ODI jersey looks
washed out. I agree with that.
इसके लिए मैंने नहीं ली.
Completely. Let me ask you this, Kushal, since we are talking about the World Test Championship and stuff, right? Do countries like, because abhi bahut controversy because Ireland played a one-off test match against England. Do countries like Ireland and them deserve more test matches in the World Test Championship calendar, or do you think they should make it exclusive and only have like 7-8 teams playing it?
I think there should I mean, मेरी podcast पता नहीं, did you listen to my podcast with Jared Kimber?
I did. I couldn't listen to all of it, but I listened to that test match, franchising the test match format.
I believe, I genuinely believe we should only retain Ashes, Border Gavaskar Trophy, and India-England. These are the 3 series that should be played as international teams. Every other international setup should be junked. You should have franchise 5-day cricket and get all those teams together, and you can easily make 8 top quality teams playing all the time. I think that would be much better. It's pointless. ये आयरलैंड की टीम यूजलेस है. वो क्या था वो मैच? मैं उसका मतलब थोड़ा सा मैंने थोड़ा मैच देखा. बाय द वे, मेरी डेडिकेशन को अप्रिशिएट करो लोगों.
मैंने भी. I also saw some. So dedication towards our viewers.
Yes, मतलब I was like, "ये मैं क्यों देख रहा हूँ? Why am I
हाँ.
watching this nonsense?" But I did. When I was like, "Yeah, there is no competition, yeah." I mean, Test match cricket is the pinnacle of the sport. You need to have top quality. I agree with you. If we are maintaining this, boss, the ICC has to say not more than 8 teams are qualified to play Test match cricket. You bunch, ICC can, you can have Team India, Team England, Team Australia. If you are so nationalistic, I am not. So, and you can have Team Pakistan maybe, or whatever, South Africa, or you can have top three, and the rest of the world has ICC 1, ICC 2, ICC 3, ICC 4, ICC 5, and you just jumble them together and let them play against the big three. I would do that.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been sold on the format ki what how they change the format or something. But I agree that they have to relook at it because they go. For, let me give you two alternate scenario. Afghanistan beat the shit out of Sri Lanka in the first test match, first one day
Hmm.
match, right? And they lost the second one. But Afghanistan is a competitive team in white ball cricket. Let's not make two bones about it. It is a prop purely good white ball team. Ireland is also pretty recent white ball team. Since when did competence in white ball cricket start translating into red ball? It does not. So if you want that, you have to either give them the resources to for the red ball cricket to develop and give them the opportunities where they are playing continuous series, or you have to relook at it that completely. And second thing,
Then India has to fund world cricket, boss. India has to reduce its kitty. Then 38% जो इंडिया ने लिया है, it has to reduce, Adit. I'm sorry to come in here, but like Richard Gould ने जो अभी ये statement दी, I don't know if you saw this. I get it. This is a direct quote, the financial inequality. But I also understand how important India is, because without them, we wouldn't have the kind of revenues that are coming into the game. But you want other teams to come up. See, uh, the argument given, and I know Jared also gives this argument, right? No, but other teams need the money to come in. I understand. But then India is not obliged to do it, right? India will be like, we will invest that money in our own thing, go for a franchise format, and have four: India 1, India 2, India 3, India 4. And the fans don't care, man. The fans don't care. Fans want to see good sports. They don't care.
yeah. So that's what they go. Right now, it's not merit that is driving test cricket, it is nostalgia.
Yeah,
Because if merit
I
was
agree.
driving test, if it was merit driving test cricket, then you would have dedicated windows like we discussed about test cricket. एक होगा July through September और दूसरा होगा November through February. And really you would not just and you would have a lot of sort of tier 2 teams because look at the West Indies team for one day T20 and test match cricket. You could have 40 players playing three formats, and there's a jigsaw puzzle. Who is the last West Indian player to play all three formats regularly, who's a walk-in when there is a franchise game on? Not
Hmm.
no one, right? So you have to do that. uh, there is a completely crazy proposition I have, and ICC could look into it. Not that we're that important, but we like to think we're that important that ICC बैठ के
We
हमको
are
ही
the
सुन
most
रही है.
important people on planet Earth.
What if exactly? What if you have provisions where teams like Ireland, Afghanistan actually play domestic uh, tournaments of certain teams? What if Ireland plays
It's a
in
brilliant
England?
suggestion. It is a
What
brilliant
if
suggestion.
what if Afghanistan plays in Ranji Trophy?
I
And
agree with you.
if that happens, you will really see a change in the sport coming, and it is actually coming to what you were saying, Kushal, because our counties or our state teams are essentially state franchises or county franchises. They're domestic tournaments. So now you have instead of players, आप उनकी team ही लगा दो ना, add करो. So where the BCCI can help is have Afghanistan play
Yeah.
Ranji Trophy, and then you're
Okay.
developing them at
तुझे
a very
जाना
high
है and
skill.
there are तुझे जाना है and we have a few more questions and comments, तो मैं वो
Absolutely.
पढ़
Let's
लेता
take
हूँ.
them. Let's take them.
Bhuvneshwar isn't match fit. Saha didn't have great domestic form. Umesh is still carrying injury. Too much cloud over the tournament. किसी ने बोला है. I don't know about the Saha domestic form. I think Saha did well. I think we needed a good keeper, so I don't
No.
agree
My
on that.
question is, has KS Bharat done anything to warrant that place over
Yeah,
Saha?
so
I
so
don't
I
think
don't
so.
agree with this. So I'm
Yeah.
with you, bro. I'm with you on
Hmm.
this one. 100% with you on this one. So, do you agree that with Vridhi was? Do you agree with how Vridhiman Saha was shown the door, and WTC should be chosen for that one test only? Could be Hardik, Bhuvi, Kuldeep, or any player, or यहाँ oval में बस in India और baking पीकी पाकिस्तान बांग्लादेश है
Huh?
ऑस्ट्रेलिया है बहुत कम सो break so I mean was Vridhiman Saha treated well was 90% of the Indian cricket team roster treated well by the BCCI?
No,
I
but
mean, let's
I
get
don't
real.
think. No. I think okay. As far as I remember, Rahul Dravid called him up and told him that Riddhi, I like you as a player, but I think we have decided to go with Rishabh Pant as our future. So I think it was a very fair comment to make, and I am of the opinion that Pant should be the future. But
Yeah,
what we don't plan for is Pant getting into a life changing accident where he cannot walk. So if that is the thing, then you have to be, you have to be real. And I don't live in this sort of make believe world ki agar ek baar kisi ko drop kiya to wapas nahi. Why the hell can't we get them back? Shahid Afridi has retired and come back into the game 6 times. I mean, I don't even know. मैं भूल गया, right? So if Shahid Afridi can do that, I mean,
वो
you can
सब
absolutely do that Sahaf for a one-off game. But for that, I agree that if Saha felt that he was, given a short change, maybe the coach of the Indian team, Dravid, had to give him a call and say that, Riddhi, you were always our second choice, and we think we should come back of Pant. So, I
yeah,
mean, I have no doubt in my mind that Saha should be back.
yeah. Are we lacking an all-rounder like Hardik Pandya? Why is it difficult to get someone like him in test matches and provide them? Look, I think this is not a complete question. Are we lacking an all-rounder like Pandya outside India in seaming conditions is the question. Because in India, we need spinning all-rounders and we have not one. We have two, three. We have three all-rounders. Have people forgotten Nathan Lyon's comment that, yeah, their middle order goes up to number 9. What the hell how are we supposed to beat them in India? So what we lack, but Hardik Pandya has got given up on his back. He doesn't play red. He's not going to play red
Hardik,
ball cricket, guys.
yes, Hardik Pandya. Okay, there are two facts that let me just tell our Indian fans. Hardik Pandya is not going to play red ball cricket unless a miracle happens, and Jasprit Bumrah is not going to play for you 10 months a year. Those are two statements that Indian fans have to take there in their psyche. If we get 8 months out of Bumrah, and if we can get as much as we can out of Hardik Pandya, great. But he is a bona fide white ball player, and if he wants to do that, we should give him the option and freedom to do that because he's brilliant at what he does.
Yes, I agree. चलो फटाफट और क्वेश्चन लेते हैं क्योंकि तुझे
हाँ,
जाना है.
yes.
This may be too early, but would you consider Rahane at number 4 for the ODI World Cup? Can he deliver given that he's experienced?
That's
No,
actually an excellent. No. I
I
actually,
won't.
you wouldn't. You don't think so?
Nope. We'll discuss this when we do the World Cup podcast.
Podcast. ठीक है.
But
But
I won't. And I'll give you the reason then. I'll give you the reason then.
I personally would. I would consider. I'm not saying that he's going to play, but in
No, I
fact,
won't.
no. But let me tell you, my number 4 in the ODI World Cup, if Pant is not playing, should be Hardik Pandya. I would not
Yeah.
put Hardik
Exactly,
Pandya as a
यार. I
finisher.
was gonna say, man, हार्दिक है क्या यार? ये क्या रहाणे को खेलेंगे हम लोग?
Yeah.
व्हाइट बॉल क्रिकेट में सवाल ही नहीं है. Ireland and every country should play test match, and India, Australia, England, etc. की ABC teams should play franchise Premier League format. Okay, that's an interesting input somebody has given.
We could have a Test Champions League, so to speak.
Yeah. So there are a few more questions. ODI should be used for bringing a team to senior team and getting old players back to form. Also, associate teams should play ODI and test with each other. Otherwise, on long weekends or holidays for the crowds, I don't know. That's just too much cricket. We have 365 days. People need to recover from injuries and they have families. यार मतलब पूरा दिन तुम्हारे लिए खेलते रहेंगे तो अपने बीवी बच्चों के साथ क्या करेंगे बेचारे प्लेयर? ऐसे नहीं हो
Not
सकता.
just that, अभी अब देख लो, someone had this insane suggestion on Twitter. I don't normally react to this कि Saturday Sunday बहुत हो जाता है because बच्चे भी क्रिकेट खेलते हैं. I would suggest I make IPL longer and only have one match a day. I was like, are you crazy? I was like, ये क्या पागलपन है? He's like, only have 2 matches on Sunday so we can watch. I was like, this insanity only happens in India that we will watch every single match.
Oh.
I was like, if you
तौबा
ask
मेरी
me,
तौबा.
IPL should be expanded to more teams and shrunk in time window where there are 2 or 3 games happening per day. This insanity has to stop, yeah.
With you on this.
One team, and why the hell should people be forced to watch that 59 all out nonsense that RR Rajasthan Royals did till the last over? और IPL का मतलब कभी कभी तो इतना weird सा होता है, at the end of 12th over or 13th over the team is 48 for 7 and they'll go for a strategic timeout because they have to have one from 13 to 16 overs. I mean, क्या बकवास है? What are you going to discuss? कि अब तो हार गए, देखते कितने कितने जोर से हारे. So, I mean, it's rubbish.
Yeah. So another comment: if the pie is bigger, percentage loss in revenue share will be compensated. Cricket is not going global because of this archaic model. I don't think so. This is all This is all hypothetical. Nobody knows why cricket isn't going global. ये सब बोलने की बातें होती हैं. The numbers are just in India. India drives global cricket. Yeah, I know this is very hard to digest for a lot of people because they were used to being in power in cricket for the longest time. Let's get real. And I do want, see, Jared says, show me the numbers. Yeah, show me the numbers too. I don't agree with Jared where he thinks that, no, India does not play that big a role. Actually, I think India does play that big a role. Even outside India, the cricket stadiums are only filled by Indians. Outside of Ashes.
No, outside this is why India plays a big role in ODI and T20, but in but it's especially in ICC tournaments. And you only have to look at the statistics of the tournaments where India crashes out early. Or kya hota?
Yeah, it's obvious. Okay, last question. Aadit, are you going to follow MLC?
As a fan of the game, I'm probably going to just follow it a little bit because I want to see how it progresses in America. I have firmly believed that if you want to take cricket to America, T20 is the way to go. So I'll follow it. I don't see it being a craze that much of MLC at all in US. But it also matters on what the level of cricket that is played, the level of coverage. And if you see a lot of these American college cricket games, their commentary and everything is so bad. So I hope that is changed and they have real commentators, good graphics, good coverage.
They should have Bhojpuri commentary for MLC.
First of all, what needs to happen, Kushal? They can have Bhojpuri commentary definitely for MLC. They need to actually have what you said, Joe Rogan type commentary for MLC, like one feed, which is absolutely just fun and stuff. But they need to stop showing cricket on cricket specific channel. Yaar, मैं Willow cricket पे देखता हूँ because I know cricket. If you really want to take cricket global, find a deal with existing ABC, NBC, and things like that. If they say pay-per-view, put it on free to air, man. Like put it on a channel and include it with, do a deal with Dish Network.
But Americans are too used to the PPV model, bro. Look,
no, they
UFC,
don't.
PPV,
tera
boxing pay-per-view.
Yes, but
wrestling
NFL,
pay-per-view.
But NFL is free to air, right?
NFL free है.
उसके लिए
तो rats हो जाएंगे अगर उसके पीछे पैसा डाल दिया.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So अभी basketball की tournament चल रही, basketball finals are free to air, right? A lot of baseball में भी कुछ games free होते. You can actually do so. Big Bash League did a deal with NBC Sports where they showed 10 or 15 games, but Australia में games आती थी, मतलब that was 2 o'clock in the morning here. IPL has a prime time from 9 to 11. Boss, if BCCI actually shows the money to or does a deal with ESPN in America, I don't see how some games cannot be shown from 9 to 12 in the morning. Sunday सुबह 9 से 12 America में April to June में कुछ नहीं आता. ESPN will be more than happy to put up IPL if it notices a spike in revenue. But they should do a deal where it's shown on national, like on TV, and it's not on ESPN Plus or something. But uske liye you need that visionary sort of thing where you're doing it for the game and not for the immediate financial balance sheets. So will that happen? I hope it does. I always remain hopeful on that.
I hear you. I would love America to be part of cricket because then the real money will come in. Oh boy, the kind of money the Americans can bring, you can. And I would just want to see India and America fight it out in the cricketing battle, because then that's the only place India can match America dollar for dollar, because we have the huge market and America has the big money. So it's going to be so interesting. So yeah, I actually look forward to that.
If the Western Bloc wants to really take on India, they probably need to prop up United States.
That's I mean, the English and the Aussies must be like, these Indians, they are bullying us, and then they will get the Americans and America will destroy everything.
Yeah, then it's going to be a cricket cold war, so to speak. But I
Yes,
can't wait for
yes.
that. It'll be
It's
awesome.
going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. All right. I know you have to go, so we'll wrap it up. So before wrapping it up, I'll give you the last word.
Last word, probably it'll be a closer game than last time. Dil se to India lagta hai. Australia is slightly favored in terms of its bowling attack and how it deals with the Indian batting lineup, but it'll be a cracker of a game. And a lot of people are like, England mein kyun ho raha hai, kyun nahi ho raha? Maybe I'm a little biased. I absolutely enjoy watching test matches in
No,
England,
no,
and
they are the only ones who agreed to host it. They have the
yes,
maximum neutral viewers on planet Earth.
exactly. No, no, but forget all that. As a viewer on TV, I love watching the test match. I actually know of a friend from Houston who's going to watch the game on World Test Championship, and probably is going to watch, if not all, most of the days at the stadium. So when we do a wrap up podcast of the WTC and the preview Ashes podcast, I'll be able to share their perspective also of what it was on the ground when they went to watch the game.
Awesome. 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 So yeah, we'll wrap up today's discussion. Look, test match cricket is for me the most amazing thing about the sport of cricket. It is the pinnacle of the sport. The WTC is the pinnacle of test match cricket. I love the Ashes. I'm really pumped for the Ashes because after this, once I'm in America this month, then Adit and I will do the Ashes preview separately along with the post WTC final podcast too this month itself. And watch test match cricket. I know you cannot watch it for 9 hours, but try to watch it a bit here and there. Try your best to support this. Also, go follow Adit on Twitter and support the Cārvāka podcast, guys. So, if you are an audio listener, please leave a rating and a review on iTunes or on Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever, Audible, whatever. Jahan bhi sunte ho. Share it with other friends. Try to promote this podcast. If you are watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the Cārvāka podcast YouTube channel, and if you can go to the next level, do become a member of this podcast on YouTube or Patreon or on Fanmo. You can also send your donations through UPI and buy the Cārvāka podcast merchandise on kushalmehra.com/shop. I'll see you all next time. Until then, namaste. Take care. Bye.